Hello everybody and welcome back to Lone Oak Farm. So we're doing pretty good. Whoa, walking fast again, look at me there. I traded out that one cultivator slash plow for the John Deere 220. It's a little bit lower horsepower, it's not as wide, but it makes more sense, and I can actually use a worker on it. Which, I said wasn't going to be a problem, but I've got to do that field, and we need to take our animals, and I need to drive across the map, so yeah, it was kind of a decision. So I'm going to just get them set up here. We're going to see how well it does, and hopefully they do a pretty good job, and I won't have to worry about it later. So that is what the hope is. Now, I'm not using gearbox today. I've decided against it in this series. Now, that is a rock. I just hit a rock. I will be using it in the Shamrock Valley map, so that's fine. I got a well enough taste of it. I played for a while after I stopped recording the last episode, so yeah, I think it'll be pretty good in that map, because we're not going as far, the fields aren't as big, and I think it's going to be a pretty good fit. So let's get them going. Who we got here? We got a lady worker. There we go. That's good enough. Let me get out of their way. Hopefully this here combine is about done, because we're going to have to cart them across the map. They and the dump truck need to come on a small expedition with me, and we have to go get all that figured out. So, but first we need to go cut some grass. Now, I don't have to cut an awful lot, but we'll use the Ford today, and we're just going to cut down in that little area by field 13, not 14. The little bit bigger one, the one where I got most of what we had the last time out of it. Huh. This trailer makes noise. That's kind of neat. But yeah, we need to get the case over to fields 29 and 18. They're both soybean, so we will have a little bit there. They're not fertilized or anything, so not as much as what I'd like, but enough. We'll have enough. Apparently it was like locked to it. Well, that's new. Can I move now? Okay, I can move now. I've never had that happen. That is so odd. Let me get this up out of the way. I don't know what was going on there. You can't lock tools like that. That's it's kind of freaky, really. Alright, now we only need enough for like 3 bales. We're gonna bring the John Deere down with the big baler. We're gonna put this guy on the cultivator and see what it does. I'm very interested to see. Oh, I know I'm doing this wrong. Okay, if you remember a while back, I said, yeah, Frithgard did it like this. I had misunderstood and miswatched how he actually did his video. So we should start with this against the fence line or tree line or whatever. I think that's how I understood it. And then I've been watching, like real farmers, try to work, and all that fun stuff. That way, I can try to bring at least a reasonably realistic video, but sometimes I just can't. So, but yeah, I think it was this way around first, and then you turn around and you go back the other way. So that is what we will do. Well, that's interesting. I just turned on the time because I had it like paused, starting the video and everything, and it's decided that it's going to grow up. So that's very weird. The oddities, they never cease with me, do they? So I've been putting some thought. I know I said I wanted to keep the Ford, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Should we keep the Ford or get rid of it? I can get rid of the Ford and get a little bit bigger tractor, and we can worry about, you know, maybe getting like a Bobcat or something for all of our other, you know, animal work, or, you know, a couple of them, because we're going to have 3 different farms. So, you know, just something to think about. I don't think we'll get rid of it today, tomorrow, or the next, but it is a thought crossing my mind. I do like the Ford, but we're outgrowing it, really, and I wasn't expecting to outgrow it, if that makes some sense. Like, I was expecting us to not. So it's kind of a kind of an odd place that I'm in with it. I'd like it. I like the Ford a lot, actually. Okay, so the next topic for today is a rake, or windrower, whatever we want to call it there. I'm sure I read a comment that it is called a rake. So what type should we go with? The only type that I have seen in my time in South Dakota, next to all the farms and everything, is like the little New Holland that we had there for a while. I'm not sure what the larger farms use. I thought it was something like the Vermeer. If I could make the Vermeer turn on and off, and instead of tedding it, you know, we could just rake it, that would probably be better. I may try to fiddle with that, but yeah, what kind do we want to use? I've got a Kubota, and I looked on, you know, like Craigslist and stuff, and there are a couple of those for sale around my area. So I'm thinking about using that, but it's kind of like a Class Swadro, Crone, no, not Class, Crone, Swadro, I think is what you call it. So, you know, we could go with, you know, something like that type, or, you know, it's whatever you guys want to do. I'm not too picky. Just want it to be correctamundo. All right, a couple more swipes here. I'm not going to worry about doing, you know, like the dead center. It would be, I don't know, a little bit redundant. Although we do have some here from before, I think. Yeah, I think that's good enough for us. So let's get this off and fold it back up. All right. So, we'll load this back up on the Ford. I know it seemed weird to bring it only this far. I was going to take it across the map and do some, but decided not to today. So we could move the case and everything with the Kenworth. So that is my plan currently. So we're going to take this back to the yard and get the John Deere going again. I'll probably worry about bailing this in the next episode or so. I'm not too awful worried about it. I should probably be worried about it. They're gonna need food before too awful long, but I thought, you know what, we'll do this here thing, and then we'll worry about it later. But yeah, we can get the John Deere down here at some point and get a couple bales made, and then have to bring this back down and get them loaded up. I think our little trailer fits this truck so much better. What in the world happened there? What is going on? Oh boy. You know, for somebody that made a video on how to use a worker, I do a horrible job with workers. Sometimes they're awesome, other times not so much. But I think I know what I want to do. I think for right now, we'll grab the John Deere out of field 16 and put him over in field 17. I think that's going to be our biggest growth there. And we're not going to do soybeans this time. We need to vary up a little bit. What have we not grown that is a cereal crop? I can't really remember. All right, so let's get this thing going here. This is looking pretty straight. You go a little bit that way. I think right there. What do you guys think? Good, hit H. There we go. They are working away. All right. Now, sadly, for, you know, Farming Sim 19, I have not seen any good word about workers being fixed or anything. I don't think they need much work. Most of the time whenever I set them up and they fail, it's my fault. But I thought I'd mention that they didn't really work on that for this time, and the traffic is going to be the same as it is right now. So I will constantly be getting rammed by cars apparently, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't see most of the complaints that I see a lot of people having with Giants and the way that they've been doing things. I've been waiting on Star Citizen since the Kickstarter was announced, however many years ago that was. And developing a game, just from that aspect of it, is a very, very hard thing to do. And there are two ways to do it. You either build the game from the ground up and you release it all at one time, like Star Citizen does, or you work on it with every iteration, like Giants does. So I would, they both have their merits. Is Star Citizen going to be good whenever it's released? Probably. Let me guess. When it gets released, lol. No, it is coming out. I've played on the newest patch there. I can't record it. I can barely play it because AMD. But they have made very big strides, and that's why I don't hate on Giants about things that they've done. I've seen some just massive amounts of vitriol on the forums from people. They're like, well, why don't we get this, and why isn't this coming here, and why don't we get this mod for consoles? And you can calmly try to explain, this is the reasoning behind that, and it is balanced programming, scripting, artwork. All these things go into making a game, and everybody wanted John Deere for however many years they've been wanting John Deere, and that's great and everything. Yeah, y'all got it. Am I excited for it? Yes, I am excited for John Deere. Don't let my demeanor fool you. I think it's a very good addition to the game, but I don't see it as the second coming like most people do. To me, John Deere is just a green brand. That's all there is to it. It is another brand, something that will, fail at one point or another. Not in the game, not in game sense. I mean in mechanical sense. Everything breaks down. So, yeah, it's nice that it is coming, but I am. What is this worker doing? Okay, I didn't set him up to fail this time. But I also don't understand. There's a lot left there, buddy. Okay, it's whatever. So, but yeah, like, it's an exciting time, but, now you have people that are like, well, what do you mean we didn't get this? Well, you got an entire other brand. Well, yeah, but we should also get this. No. You wanted the brand. So you get the brand and, a couple extra crops. You're not going to get it all. That takes developmental time. And a game that releases, every... What do they release? Every 3 years? 2 years? Oh, thanks for the linker, buddy. Right after you turned. Every 2 years or so. You're watching big leaps and bounds for two years worth of progress. So I don't see, where most of the complaints are coming from a design standpoint. I would rather have the Giants engine refined than have some little frill on top like some other crop. I don't even know what it would be. I don't know. I don't know my crops really off the top of my head. Like carrots. Carrots would be kind of cool to harvest and do, but I'm not like too worried about not having them. I would rather have the engine develop more and more and more, because there are still plenty of optimizations that can come. So yeah, that is my standing on it. Alright, let's snap in here and grab the Kenworth. Hadn't been started up in a couple days, so be good exercise for it. I don't think we haven't hauled anything, have we? It is a good-looking truck, this. All right. Let's go ahead and get the boards unfolded here. As long as I've got the correct thing. Here we go. Hit Z. Go ahead and get them coming out. Now this thing is not going to be fast. It's only 235 horse. So, but it's going to be way faster than moving the combine down the road, so. Okay, I installed the tire mod. I don't know if I like it or not. Let's zing up in here. Alrighty. Get this disconnected. Pull forward a good bit here. Now, we need to make the decision on which way this goes on. Where is the heavier part? Heavier part's probably right about in the center, honestly. So we're going to do this backed onto. And we're not going to take the header off. So I actually seen something today. It was a Case 1440 combine. I thought it was one of these at first. And it was for sale for like 4,500 bucks. I couldn't believe that it was, you know, so cheap. But it's probably got plenty of hours on it and everything. But it was still kind of cool to see. All right, let's see here. So we want to unlock and then lock. There we go. We're locked up. Everything's good. Looks to be pretty centered. Does the KW have power? Of course it does. Now the only bad thing about the KW, and I pointed it out, if you're not, you know, following the SimStation, you should probably follow the SimStation. Because he does put out really good content, and I'm on his Discord. And, you know, I post pictures of things, you know, I do around and everything like that. And I posted this picture, and Farmer Klein was on there, another YouTuber, and he was asking questions about it. And I did not notice until he had asked that is that there are no mirrors. So, you know, I didn't know that until yesterday evening sometime. I never noticed that the mirrors don't work. So, I can't drive it from the inside because I got to know where I am all the time. Now, this is going to be tight. Like, around my fields and everything, it's not bad. But if a rock or something's sticking out, it's going to catch that grain head. And we're going to have a not good time. So I'm going to try, like I just, like probably need to pay that guy some insurance money. So we're just going to skedaddle right to where we're going. Yeah, I don't like the tire mod. I don't like the tire noise mod. That's so annoying. Somebody needs to tell that fella that tires don't sound like that going down the road all the time. So we are coming up to our turn. I've still got my blinker on because I'm a dummy. So we'll turn the right blinker off, but we'll turn the left blinker on. Oh, I do have beacons. I could have turned those on too. Didn't realize. Alright. Now, this could be... Wanna try to hang up here. There we go. Made the turn, no problem. Let's turn off this blinker. Now, this is what I was worried about, and I didn't close it up. So, hopefully I don't gotta hop out and, you know, chop up some tree. Think we're through. Could not do this with a bigger combine. It wouldn't work. Alright, so how's his swing in the yard gonna be? Let's get over this way all the way. And you want to kind of look where you're going and then cut over and just hold it there as long as you can. Then you can bring it back and you won't hit anything. Alright, now let's get down inside the actual yard. Let's not hit the giant propane tank. Okay, looking good. I think this is probably a good place to get it unhooked. We'll pull off over here to the side. Alright, so where was it we could get into that field? I've got this feeling that I've been looking at it wrong, like the entire time. So if we go, I don't know. We're just going to go this way. I was going to try to go the correct way in, but I don't think that's going to happen today. Now that's a big old field. Field 28 is pretty large. That is a large and in charge kind of field. Alright, so get them started. I doubt that there's going to be very much in this field. Probably around 20k liters if I had to be a guessing man here. So there they go. Alright. Let's take a little walk. We've got 50 grand. And that's very odd for me. Field tractor. I say, Alright, that one's 86. We could buy a tractor too. I think I mean, we're close. Yeah, I'm going to buy a tractor. Alright, so this is what I ended up going with. The 7250 twins. Now, I went with this instead of the other Magnum, which is this one. They're basically the same tractor. This one, for some reason, reads more horse. So, I'm not too worried about the loss. I think it's like 15 horse. But we do get a dual row crop tired tractor. So, yay us. Yay us. Everything looks to be kosher. Everything looks to be okay. Interior looks okay. Don't think we have any IC. No, we don't. So, start her up and speedometer works at least. It's not too fast, but should be better than what we've had. Now I know I could have got a field, but we do need to start working on getting some bigger stuff. Because before long, we are going to be into the bigger fields. So that is kind of a worry for me. So this is probably going to be a little bit shorter episode because we're going to leave it right here. I'm going to go ahead and snag the cultivator, which I need to get rid of. We need to get a good, you know, modern style cultivator that is not this thing. And yeah, we'll be working on that in the next episode. So everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.